Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of PixlFeed Radio, and I'm here with my friend Jessica Burgess. Jessica, how you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm very excited to talk to you because I know for a fact, I haven't had anyone on who actually started with a blog and built it
Awesome.
to what you have done in the past 10 years. You've been doing a lifetime blog for about 10 years. There revolves around food and recipes and stuff like that. And now you have a YouTube channel with more subscribers than I do. So there you go. I might pick up some tips from you. In my defense, though, my stuff is really hard to rank and get views for. But anyway,
For sure.
but I'll use that as my excuse for now. So awesome. All right, cool. Before we get into the blog and how to make money with a blog, because I tell people all the time, I'm like, listen, you don't have to get in front of a camera on YouTube. If you know how to write, and not even if you don't even have to be like a professional writer. If you can just communicate in writing and you make it a consistent move where you do it every day or every other day, or at least once a week. Most people don't know this. I have a personal podcast that I do literally once a week, 20 minutes. It doesn't have my name on it. It's all hidden because I don't want to mix it up with work. And it's already monetized. And yeah, it makes a few bucks, but I do it more for the creative side of it. I can't talk about digital media all day, every day. I get tired of it.
Right.
So I got to let the creative, thoughts go out every once in a while, once a week. But before we get into that, so how did it all start? I mean, you've been doing it for 10 years. So what gave you the idea? How did you get started?
Well, I'm going to lead off with saying that I am a stay-at-home, work-at-home mom. So I made the threat. I said, do not interrupt. But if you see a little dude walk in, don't be surprised. But
yeah,
I think I have him occupied with homeschool work downstairs. But anyway,
mine's a year and 6 months. So he already every once in a while stumbles in here. So I run to lock the door.
So you get it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I get it.
So to tie that in, I started blogging because I had my first kiddo 10 years ago.
Mhm.
And before I had him, I was working in my husband's office. And when I had the baby, I decided to stay at home with him. And to be completely honest, I got bored on the creative side of things. I felt like something was missing. And not that, a new mom isn't busy and has things to do, but I just felt like there has to be more. Like there has to be something of mine.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Sorry, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
I want to know if you're like me. Like I feel bored and unproductive if I sit down and try to watch Netflix or Hulu or whatever for like more than a couple hours. Like I could never be one of those people that sits at home and just turns the TV on and just watches for hours and hours and hours. Like it drives me. I feel so unproductive and like so lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like I need to do something, and that's why I have so many projects. That's why I do so many things, because I got to feel productive about it. So yeah. Go on. Sorry.
I'm exactly like you. Yeah, I feel like if I'm not doing 2 or 3 things at once, I feel like I'm being lazy, or I could be getting something done. So yes, I sit on the couch and watch TV with my husband at night, but I have my computer on. And honestly, he wants me to put the computer up, and it's something in a personal level. In a marriage, it's a struggle because it's like, I want to sit and just watch this movie with you, but do you realize I could be pinning on Pinterest or editing a video or something while we're doing that? So no, I'm the same way. But I felt like something was missing, and I thought, I started looking. That's about the time Pinterest came out 10 years. I mean, it came out longer than that, but it was about the time that people started talking about Pinterest. And I thought, what is this? So I started seeing all of these things, parties people were styling and recipes people were sharing on this virtual bulletin board. And I thought, to be honest, I was like, that's stupid. Like, who's going to use Pinterest? And
we planned our whole honeymoon on Pinterest.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. And Pinterest plays a big part of my blog success these days, So
that's awesome.
To think back, I mean, I rebelled against it. I tend to rebel against a lot of newer platforms because I think I'm not going to waste my time if this thing isn't going to be successful. Anyway, I rebelled against it, but it was Pinterest that made me start thinking, what are these blogs that people are doing and sharing photos? And man, I could do that. I enjoy writing. I enjoy styling parties and taking pictures and cooking. And so to make a long story short, I started looking into this blogging thing and thought, I'm going to do that just for fun, just as a hobby, just to have something to escape the real world, right? And about 6 months into it, I had somebody say, Jessica, people are making money with blogs, right? And I thought, what are you talking about? And for lack of a better term, I became very obsessed with the idea of making money with it.
Yeah.
And here we are today. 2015, I really started taking it serious, turning it into a business because I could see the potential of what was there and where the world was headed. And I started guns blazing. I started focusing on it, and still today, it's what I love waking up for every morning to get online and do. So it started as a hobby, and now it's a business that, financially supports, our family, and it's something I enjoy. And now I teach people how to start blogs, and it's just all unfolded from there.
Yeah, and the name of the blog is I can't pronounce it because of my
Fantabulosity.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Fantabulosity. See, my tongue gets all twisted.
No,
that's a great name though. I like that name.
Thank you.
I think that's the biggest issue, that people don't even know where to get started. I tell people all the time, if you're just starting out and want to try it, or you're not serious about it, go to something like Medium and just start writing and see what comes out of it. You can make money on there if it gets traction. But at one point, obviously, you did the smart thing. And, get your own domain, get your own platform, set it all up, and go from there. So you sit down, you're learning, you're noob, right? Because we were all noobs at one point. Sure. So what's the first thing that you did? How did you find the perfect platform? What did you start writing at first? How did you start to come up with content?
Well, that's a great question. I don't think anybody's ever asked me that. And I've done a lot of, blogging interviews. So very good question.
Thank you. I know this world pretty well. So,
yeah. I was very fortunate to know someone that knew a little bit or had a little bit of a tech background. And the good thing is, or the thing to keep in mind is 10 years ago, that was hard to find. Now there's programs and experts out there that can help you with that. But I was very fortunate to know someone who knew a little bit about it. And thank goodness, I say thank goodness, because it's a big part of my blog success, I believe. As she said, start out on WordPress, and that's wordpress.org, not .com. And she said, yes, you're going to have to pay for hosting, a certain amount every month or every year, but you're going to be glad you did. And I think that was the best advice I got early on, because going through the years of blogging, so many bloggers started out and then decided that they loved it and that they wanted to grow it and turn it into something bigger than what it was. And so a lot of them have switched to wordpress.org. And that's something I didn't have to do. I started out on that, and I'm so thankful for that. But as far as how did I come up with stuff or ideas of what to create content on, I just started sharing everything. And, with a lifestyle blog, that was okay. And looking back, if I would have known then what I know now, I would have had a more strategic plan about what I shared and what I created, because I have a lot of content. I think I don't have as many as some, but I have, I think, 150 blog posts on the blog. And maybe a fourth of them are just random posts that actually don't see any traffic every month and really have no purpose, to be honest. But what I know now, creating content strategically, can get traffic from Google and Pinterest and things like that. So in the beginning, I just shared what I wanted to, and that was good. And still to this day, I do still share what I want to, but because it fills the void of any creative desires I have of, like you were talking about, you need to feel creative. You need to share these things. And it's a lifestyle blog helps me be creative, but now I know how I can be creative and be strategic at the same time to drive traffic to the blog.
Now you share a lot of recipes and a lot of food and cooking and stuff like that. Do you think that if you could go back, you would have, a lot of us in digital media, we say riches are in the niches. And I'm guilty of straying away from this a little bit, because again, I'm like you, I'm super creative. I need a million things. And it's easy to run out of content. When I started the YouTube channel, it was like, I got on here, I was like, I'm going to give it all away. Everything I know about Facebook ads, I'm just going to give it away. People charge thousands for courses. Guess what? I'm going to play the long game. I'm going to play chess while everybody's playing checkers, because I know if I put it all on YouTube, I'll get a following. Every time the platform's updated, I can update, I can keep up with everything that's being updated. So it's a never ending thing. And it's something that will never end. And then how how YouTube works. Once you get your CPMs locked in, and I'm in the highest paid for the whole platform. So, you know, yeah, I might not have that many subscribers, but guess what? It adds up when it gets that traction. So I started niching out with Facebook ads, and then I'm like, I can talk about Facebook ads all day long, like all day long. And then I realized very quickly, 3 months into it, I'm like, oh crap, like what do I talk about today? Like, what am I going to make a video about this week? Like, and then you have to really sit down and figure out, because it's not only creating a video or a blog post or whatever, it's actually making something that makes sense and it's engaging, and it's going to help your audience or get your audience engaged. So did you have that issue at first? Do you wish you niched down a little bit, or are you glad that you went broad all the way, because that way you didn't run out of content right away?
Well, in the very beginning, when I started blogging, I actually started another blog that I don't have today, and it was solely on party planning. And not so much did I run out of content to share, because it was pretty much created to share other people's content too, almost like a portal for people to share, upload, and share their own parties on.
Right.
But since my issue wasn't really, hey, you know, I don't have any more content, what am I going to post about? It was, I don't want to post about parties right now. I don't feel like it. I'm tired of it. So my creative mind was like, Jessica, you want to talk about other things? I felt restricted. I felt suffocated talking about one thing. So this is where I tend to agree with a lot of so-called experts out there saying the riches are in the niches. You know, yes, I truly believe there are riches in the niches. But if you're talking to somebody like me that feels and thinks the way I do, if I had to talk about one thing, I wouldn't be successful anyway, because I would rebel against it and I wouldn't be excited to work on it, or I wouldn't be excited to talk about it. So I always tell my blogging students and my clients, when they say, what should I blog about? I kind of feel them out at first. I say, well, okay, are you a creative mind like me, or can you talk about one thing forever? And so we really deep dive and focus in on that, because the last thing I want to do is set them up for failure. Kind of like what I did in the beginning. You know, it's my mistake in the beginning of talking about one thing. And guess what? I closed that sucker down after about 3 months, because I was just done.
Yeah.
And if you want, I say to somebody, if you want to start a blog, or if you already have a business and you want to start a blog to help grow that current business, absolutely focus on that one thing. Take, for instance, I always say vacuum reviews. Can you start a blog on vacuum reviews? Absolutely. Is it that exciting? Not really. I mean, not for most people, right?
I've looked for vacuum reviews.
Exactly. But there are people out there
I have
that want to look for vacuum reviews. And guess what? You can make a lot of money talking about vacuums.
You know
every
why?
single day.
Because my parents' house, we grew up with I still remember when they bought it. They bought a Kirby, and it was like, I don't know, like $3,000 or something. And still to this day, they still have that vacuum cleaner, and it's still the best cleaner I've ever used in my life.
Yeah.
So I'm like, is there a better one out there? And then there was another one, and I was like, and I went to the dark side. I got the other one, but yeah, no, you can find out there's a lot of scams when it comes to vacuum cleaners. I found out.
Oh my gosh. And that's what I mean. You can make money with, say you start a blog today for vacuum reviews, you can make money through ads. You can make money through affiliate income, which if those listening don't know what affiliates are, you know, you can recommend a certain vacuum, and if somebody buys it, you make a commission on it, right? So there are ways, and absolutely you can make a lot of money with one specific topic. But guess what? I don't want to get up in the morning and talk about vacuums.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what happened with me. So it was mainly focused on Facebook ads, but then I'm like, I've done it all. I have my own brands, and I run, you know, ads for clients, and, you know, and I have affiliate stuff and email lists and all that stuff. And it's like, well, I can't just talk about Facebook ads. And I love what I do. I truly do. So one, I'm going to talk about, you know what? I don't care if people don't watch. If they get pissed off, they can leave. I don't care, because it's not my main source of income. I go, in order for Facebook ads to work, you have to have the other things in place. So it's like a combo. Here's a Big Mac, here's the fries, here's the Coke. Yeah. This is what's going to bring you traffic. But guess what? You got to know what converts on a website, and you got to know how to build it, and you got to know sales, and you got to know everything on the ecosystem. And you know, and then I made it so, you know, same thing as you did, because my channel wasn't monetized for it took 1 year and 3 months, because it's very hard for business to rank on YouTube. Because, you know, it's not a bunch of kids just watching videos all day. It's people looking for the answer, and they'll watch for like literally 3 minutes or whatever it is to get that answer. And, when you're not monetized, YouTube doesn't push it. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
we hope you make it,
Yeah.
So, and then once it happens, that's when YouTube really kicks it up a notch and people get more involved. But that's how I created my whole ecosystem. We're like, okay, get into my list, and then I'm going to recommend you products that I personally use, that I personally believe in. If I don't use it, if I don't believe in it, I won't talk about it. I get emails I'm sure you do too, every day to plug products. And I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
And the ones that I pick are the ones that I use. And yes, I do get an affiliate, but I'm not hiding it. I put it right there. Like, this is an affiliate link. If you use it and you like it, great, I'll get a cut. And that's awesome. If not, whatever, at least I told you about it. It helps me in my life. So I think people don't know when especially when they're starting out, that you can build this whole ecosystem, which I'm sure you've done as well, right?
Yeah. So, I don't have one main stream of income, and I don't know if you've ever heard, what is it? It's every millionaire has 7 streams.
Never put all your eggs in one basket. I learned that one the hard way when the 2010 crash happened. I had one business and I had all my eggs in one basket. And I literally lost it all. I told the story before, so I'm not going to go into it. But, it's like, it sucked. And that's when I'm like, never, ever, ever again.
Never. And the same thing, I mean, it may not just be one business. It may be different aspects of one business that you need to consider. So with a blog, I make money through my blog with ad income. And so that means the ads on my website, where people don't have to buy anything. They just look at it as they're scrolling to look at my content. And I sell products. I sell digital products and courses and things like that. And then I offer, one-on-one mentoring services for blogging. And then I have affiliate income, YouTube ads and things like that. And then I have brands that pay me to blog about their products. And I'm like you, I don't recommend anything that I truly don't love. And that, to me, has paid off in the long run, because I get emails every day saying, hey, promote my new product. And it's like, no, that doesn't align with my audience. It doesn't align with me.
Yeah.
And through time, that's paid off, because my followers and readers know that if I recommend something, I truly love it. And it's not just to make a buck, because I've seen so many people come and go online, influencers and things like that. Oh, buy this hair tool or this, whatever it is. And then it's crap, to be honest. And people smell it. They see it, and then they don't believe them. And then before
people
you know
can tell when you're fake.
Oh,
people can tell when you're fake. And that's one of the things that I get messages all the time. It's like, dude, like, you just give it all away. You're not like just fluffing. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. Like, I don't care. Like, this is not my main source of income. So, it's and that's why I have the podcast side of things. I like talking about business as a whole. Like, I love hearing people's stories, because I've been through it, and I like seeing, how they came up with it and how they did it. But yeah, same thing happens to me. I get the emails all the time. It's like, push this, but I'm like, nope. But, anyway, so you started the blog with WordPress. Obviously, you had to find out about, I'm assuming, AdSense to start making money. Is that what the first income stream, or no?
I did tinker around with it a little bit in the beginning, but it's not something I recommend for new bloggers starting out. And now I use AdSense on my YouTube ads.
Right.
But it's not something I recommend for new bloggers, and I'll tell you why. Starting out, I'm a big believer in you want Google to love you, right? And you want your readers to love you starting out, because you want them to continue coming back. And I found that Google AdSense on newer blogs just really don't make that much money. And I remember when I started out, I remember making a penny one month, and I was like, yes, I finally did something, And so it's that motivation you need to keep going. True, but it really slowed down a site. And I was really scared of Google ads for some reason. I just kept getting these emails all the time saying, make sure you put them on right. Make sure you put them in the right spot, or you're going to be kicked off. And nobody wants to be Google's enemy. So I just really recommend you don't put Google ads on a brand new blog, because I want your site to be fast. I want your readers to love you. I don't want Google on my bad side, because if you can grow your blog quickly or faster, I will encourage you to do that, so you can get to the bigger ad networks, the bigger ad platforms to work with, because they're going to pay you a heck of a lot more than Google AdSense ever will.
So most people don't even know that there are other ad networks that you can plug in instead of AdSense. Even with YouTube, you don't have to use AdSense, which is crazy to me that they allow other ad networks to be pulled. I haven't done it, but I know there's a couple out there. So you didn't do that at first. So what was the action that you took with it? I mean, obviously you kept writing and then it kept growing. And then, when did the light bulb go off? It's like, okay, how can I make more money with this? What was the move after that?
Well, I went to a blogging conference, I think in 2015, and I met an ad network. And I said, oh, what do you do? And I talked to him at a booth, and they said, well, when you get, and I think it was 25,000 page views a month at that time. And I think I was getting 15,000. And they said, when you get 25,000 page views a month, come talk to us. And I thought, okay. Because any money was good money. Then, I'll take money.
Yeah.
And
money's good.
Yeah.
Money's good.
I mean, might as well get paid for something you're already doing. So I made that my goal. And I knew that to get with them, I had to get more page views, more eyes. So I started pushing things. I started creating more content. And when I got with them, and them is in Mediavine, I'm with Mediavine right now, and that's the ad network I use. It was a game changer. The first month I was with them, it paid our electric bill. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is just the beginning. Where could this go? And then, a few months later, I was making our house payment too. And I was just like, and so that was kind of the light bulb moment of, wow, that's just one thing, one ad or one income stream with this blog. And so then I started creating I was already doing affiliates early on, because starting out as a new blogger, I think that's a great way to make some income. It may not be a lot, but recommend products that you use, like you were saying, and maybe make a commission off the products you're already using in your life. And so I started selling the products, and I had the affiliate income, and then I had the ad income, and it just kind of snowballed from there. Because really the beautiful thing about the internet, as you know, is there's no cap on anything. It's how much work you put into it, and the working smarter and not harder philosophy. And there's just the options and the potential there. It's endless. And I love that I can work any time of day I want, because the internet's up and at it 24 hours a day. It can be on a Saturday if I want it to be, or it can be on a Monday afternoon. Yeah. And I just love that there's no sick days, really, if that makes sense, if you don't want it to be. Or with the internet, it can work in the background for you. We went through a lot of health issues with one of our kiddos a few years ago, and I wasn't able to work. I was by his side in the hospital for a very long time. And the beautiful thing about the blog was that it was working in the background for me. People were finding my blog on Google and Pinterest. And when they were coming to visit my blog, my ad income, or my ad company, was paying me every month. So it's a great source of income for those who may have a business already, or just want something on the side to gain some income, for a family vacation.
It's what I tell people. It's passive income is real, but it takes a lot of work to build it up. Sure. Once you build it up, it's good to go. I can literally not make another YouTube video again after this, and I know the channel will still grow at a rate. I mean, I have the numbers on my dashboard, and it'll make me money for the rest of my life. That's like, it's crazy. But people are not willing to put up the work. I mean, I know for a fact 3 people tried to do the same thing that I did, and they gave in like a few videos in. I put out 3 videos consistently every week for a year and 3 months until I got monetized, because I knew I had to do it. And that takes a lot of work, man. It takes a lot of determination. And then I see other people, especially on Facebook, and I even told them, like, what are you doing? They'll sit there and write a whole book about whatever they're into, like The Simpsons, or I don't know, movies or music. And I'm like, you're wasting your time. Put this on a blog. If you love it so much, just put it out there, man. And Google will find it, and you'll get traffic, and eventually make you money. That I literally will tell them this, and they're like, oh, you're right. And they never do it. Of course they never do it. I mean, you can't force people to do it. It's just some people are going to do it. Some people are not. And that's what it is. So with the blog, so now you're making money with the blog. The passive income is rolling in. So I wonder if you're like me, you want to keep taking it to the next level, because you can't sit still, right? Yeah. So you decide to go with YouTube at one point. So how did it come about? Because now you got to be in front of the camera. So that's a whole different ball game, right? For me, it's a little bit easier. So I wear the same thing on every video, because I'm very vain, and I don't want to think about what I have to wear before I shoot a video, because I will waste literally hours trying to figure it out. I'm like, oh, I can't do that. I wore that on the last video. So as a woman, I can only assume just to pick out what you're going to wear in each video has to drive you nuts, right? So now you got to be in front of the camera. You got to turn it on. just like a podcast. So did you know what you were getting into when you made the jump to YouTube? Or you were just like, I'll just do it and see how it goes type of deal?
Well, I am really big on authenticity. I really am. That's a big portion of my blog and brand. So to answer that question, do I as a female, I will say sometimes, maybe I should put on something nicer than this shirt that has a stain on it from making spaghetti earlier. But at the same time, if something happens, or if I'm recording a video and it's based around something that's going on right in that moment, I don't say, oh, I can't post that because I don't look good enough. I'm throwing it out there. And I found over the years that people love that.
Love it.
Especially now, they just love the real, and they love to see that life isn't perfect. I mean, that's probably why I don't do so well on Instagram, because it's just so curated, and I just keep pushing back against it, saying that's not me. That's not really what happened. My feed is full of random pictures. I don't have a cohesive color, because that just stresses me out.
I'm telling you right now, I have one brand with a partner. She's amazing. And for that brand, we need the Instagram account. It's a big part of it. It brings a lot of the traffic and sales. And the headaches that come along with creating content for Instagram, I can't even begin to tell you. It's like I literally hired a full-time person to just handle the Instagram account. And now we're getting into TikTok, because I've been saying TikTok forever. But, my partner, she's a mom. She's busy, very smart. She's very outgoing and everything. But she doesn't have the time to be making 10 TikToks a day. You know what I mean? So that's the next challenge that we have. It's like, we know we have to be there. I know for a fact we have to. So how can we do this creatively for it to work? Because she can't do it herself all day long. She has to work on her business, and has 2 kids and family and all that, So it's a challenge. It's not easy. That's what I tell people all the time. I'm like, listen, there's people out there that say, you got to be everywhere. You got to be on every single platform, blah, blah. Yeah, you do eventually. But at the beginning, you got to pick one and just stick to it, whether it's blogging, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Instagram. Instagram, I'm with you. Instagram is just a pain in the ass. You got to have filters. It has to be cohesive. The last meeting I had with Facebook, it was like, oh, yeah, for organic reach to work, we need you to be posting, I can't remember the exact numbers, but it was basically 2 stories a day, 3 reels a day with 2 posts, and 5 times a week, and you'll get like X amount of reach. I was like, dude, like, this is ridiculous, So, with YouTube, I try to, now I don't do 3 videos because I'm way too busy. So I'll try to keep it at 2. Sometimes I'll do 3 if I have the time, if I have free time. With blogging, to get real traction, how many blogs did you started posting a week? Was it just once a week and then it turned into like twice, 3, and then every day? How did you figure that out? And then with YouTube as well.
Well, with blogging, again, I go against the grain with what the experts say.
Right.
A lot of times you'll hear people say, oh, you have to blog every day. You have to get that traction. And sure, it's common sense. The more content you post, the more traffic you're going to get. But I truly believe that there's a lot in it. There's a lot to say about quality content. I can throw a blog post up in 5 minutes, but it's going to live for about 2 seconds on social media when I share it and be done. Yeah. But I'd rather spend 2 days writing a really thorough, very helpful blog post that Google's going to like, or that social media will like, and keep coming back to, for it to pay off. So I don't think there's a specific number, or I don't believe that you have to do a certain amount of blog posts every week to be successful. Again, when going back to the time that my son was sick, I wasn't posting anything. Now, do I believe my blog would be quote unquote bigger and have more page views a month right now if I would have written during that time? Sure. It's common sense. But I think that I would rather spend time creating quality content. And the same goes for YouTube. My YouTube audience is a little bit different, and I don't post over there as much as I do on my blog. And it's kind of nice when I do post over there and it coincides with a blog post I write. Google really loves that. So if I do a hamburger recipe on my blog and I also do a video on it and upload it to YouTube, Google and YouTube, they can kind of go hand in hand with search results, and then my blog traffic will go up through that. But I don't specifically create content for YouTube much unless it's a product review that my audience over there loves, or they love the fashion unboxings. But usually YouTube is kind of supplemental to my blog post. I'll just create videos and upload it and host it over there to embed on my blog post.
So you keep saying if Google likes it. For those that don't know, when you're posting a blog and you want to make Google happy so it ranks it up, what is it that you're looking for in the content that you're creating? Of what do you make sure that's in there in order for quote unquote Google to like it?
Well, so SEO, search engine optimization, is really what I focus on. And when I say the things that Google likes, they change. Nobody really knows.
Yeah, no,
if somebody has a direct phone line to Google, I mean, that's amazing. But it's just research and seeing what works for you, because I may listen to an SEO expert and they tell me to do something and I do it and it totally tanks. It's one of those things you try, you split test, you do all these things to see what works for you. And the type of things that work for me and my blog are, I will write a blog post answering a question. And that's typically the majority of blog posts I write these days are specifically answering a question that somebody's looking for on Google. And that may be a certain recipe, or it may be how to clean a coffee maker or something like that. And when I write the blog post, I make sure to include information that's good for my reader, because Google wants information on your articles and on your blog posts that are good for the reader, a reader's experience. So I will, just a quick little tip that I do that works for me is I go to Google, I type in what I'm thinking about writing a blog post about, and I see the results pop up. And there's a little section on the Google search results that say people also ask. And so if you Google how to clean a coffee maker, and you scroll down and there's a little section, people also ask. Another question on there may be, what kind of things do I use to clean a coffee maker? Or does vinegar work to clean a coffee maker? And I will put those exact sentences in my blog post, because if people are also searching that along with the initial question, Google's going to be like, hey, this girl knows what she's talking about. I'm going to push her content out, try to get it towards the first page of Google, and hopefully people will see it and click on my blog post. So those kind of things are just little bitty, again, common sense things that we may not even think about sometimes to include in our articles. Because if you're answering multiple questions about one topic, you're going to seem like you probably have their answer.
Right. So, okay, that makes sense. So let's say I come to you, Jessica, and I'm like, listen, I want to start a blog. I'm serious about it. Like, I have to do it, but I don't know where to start, and I don't want to spend all this time, trying to figure it out. What is that process like with the courses or the one-on-ones? What is that process like? Basically, whoever's watching or listening to this, depending on what they're at, when should they come to you, or which way should they approach the process with you?
I take people from the very beginning, and I love taking people from the very beginning. The small incubator thought of, I may want to start a blog, because I can help them right there. I can take them from the very beginning and say, let's explore this, what this looks like. How could you start on the right foot? And I actually have a free workbook that helps people and has helped people for a long time walk through, is blogging right for you? If it is, what kind of topic could you see yourself writing about that you wouldn't get burnt out on in 3 months like I did, right? But I also work with people who have started a business or maybe have already started a blog and they just want to grow it. So with my one-on-one mentoring services, I take you exactly where you're at, because I don't have a one-size-fits-all method. Could I? Sure. And I have courses of how to start a blog, and I have a course on how to grow your blog. But the beauty of the one-on-one services that I offer, I take you and I take your business into consideration, or your passions and your expertise into consideration. And we build and we flourish it from there. So I always recommend that if people are considering starting a blog or think that they may have interest in it, I always send them my free workbook first so they can explore what that may look like. And if some people are kind of like me, where they're just like, no, heck with the workbook. I just want to get started. Let's do it. I know myself. I won't sit down and go through this workbook. I just need somebody to tell me what to do. I do that as well. So it's not a one-size-fits-all method. It's more of a custom method, which I've had great results with. And I have clients that have had great results with it and grown their businesses, or have a blog that's flourishing now and making money. And I really like that approach to it, instead of here's something, see if it works for you. It may not, but I do have people that say, no, I just want a quick little course. I don't need the custom experience. So I also offer that. So I want to make sure I have an offering or a service that fits whatever personality type it may be.
That is really cool. That is really cool. So for those of you listening or watching, if you're thinking about starting a blog, definitely contact Jessica. All the links will be in the description, but we're running out of time. But before we go, since now I have a 1.5 years old, and I don't think I've said this in the channel because we just announced it on social media last Saturday. The second one is on its way.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. We have learned since the first one that our elaborate meals that we used to have every night, because, she had plenty of time to cook and on the weekends, those don't exist anymore. So it's like 50-50, because the good thing about it is that I'm like in the best shape of my life right now, because all I do is work out and eat healthy because we don't have time to cook. But you were talking about meal prep and one of the how to make it easy. So I want to hear your thoughts on that, because I didn't have time to read the whole thing. Okay. So for meal prep, what do you recommend the most? I hate reheated chicken. Like, reheated chicken to me is so gross. Like, I can't do it. So I eat it cold and it's still disgusting. But I just want some tips from you, what you recommend as far as like healthy foods and how to make them quick and stack them up for the week.
Well, you'll find with me, I rebel against the standard.
Right. I'm all about rebelling. You're talking to a metalhead. I'm like a rebel without a cause, right? That's why I don't work for anybody else. So I'm good for that.
Okay. So my husband loves the idea of cooking a bunch of chicken, like you were saying, and putting it in special little containers and warming. That just
it's so gross. I just like, it's so gross.
No, it doesn't work for me. So really, as far as meal prepping, I meal plan instead of meal prep. And meal plan is I have a plan at the beginning of the week of certain quick ideas that I can make. And if I'm not one of those that succeeds of saying, okay, on Monday, we're going to have spaghetti, on Tuesday, because I may not feel like it. And then I just won't do it and I'll fail.
Thank you.
So I like to have kind of like an overhead, I can't think of the term. I don't know, an umbrella. Okay. I have a meal planning umbrella where I go, I know this week I want to make this, this, and this. So I have it in the freezer, or I bought it at the grocery store because it was on sale. And I just know sometime that week I have to make that. Right. And then, so it's kind of like a broad, vague plan, but it works for me. And then when I get up in the morning, I go, okay, what one of those 5 things that I wanted to have this week do I want to have today? And I get in the habit, if it's something in the freezer or something I have to get in the crock pot or something, I know that every morning after I get my coffee ready to brew, I go, okay, my habit, I've programmed my brain to know that every morning after my coffee, I have to think about dinner. So I go to the freezer and get the thing out that sounds good, or I go to the fridge and get out the thing and put it in the slow cooker that sounds good. So I believe my success, and that so many have also had success with, is do a skyline view of your week of meals that you want to have, and then get in the habit of, whether it's the night before or early in the morning, something you do every single day that you never fail, because I am not going to forget about my coffee. There's just no way. So I knew if I tie my meal planning with my coffee making, I'll have success. So every morning I brew my coffee, and while I'm waiting for it to brew, I'm going, okay, I need to think about dinner tonight. So then I go and get it out and get it ready. And then that way, when 5 o'clock rolls around and we're home from ball practice, I already know what we're having. I already got it out from the freezer, and I've just had so much success with that. So those are my top 2 tips that work for somebody like me that doesn't like to be told what to do.
And this is why women are better at running a household than guys are, because me, vegetables, when I was single, they die. They will just die. Like, I will forget about them, because I'll be going out all the time. Mm-hmm. And then like, we buy all this food. I'm like, ugh, there's nothing to eat. Like, I look at the fridge and like, there's nothing. No, there's plenty to eat. I just don't want to make it, Yeah. So I work a lot. All right. In my defense, I work a lot, mm-hmm. But no, that's an awesome advice. But
good.
All right. So before we go, because we're out of time, where can people find you? Where can people find the blog? Every link to everything. It's going to be in the description, but just coming from you, what do you want to send them to?
Sure. I mean, I would just, my home is fantabulosity.com, the lifestyle blog, because I believe when you go there, you can find every other avenue or platform that you can find me on. But visit fantabulosity.com, or of course you can find me at Fantabulosity on any of the the social media. Usually the fun thing about that name is maybe hard to say, maybe kind of questionable how to say it. But
listen, it's a great name. Like English is not my first language, and for some reason that one I just can't. It just ties my tongue up for some reason. But it's a great name. I like the name. I really do.
Good. Well, no, thank you. I did it on purpose, and I won't go on. But there have been many times where I've been like, I need to change that. I need to change it, but I can't because I love it and because it's memorable. Yeah. But the good thing about it too is when somebody's trying to find me, they usually find me because they type something that may sound like it or get close, and then they find me on the social platforms, and it's not very easy to confuse me with somebody else. That's for sure.
No, I like it a lot. Don't change it, Jessica. I like it a lot. So. All right, cool. So we're out of time. Thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. And if you want to ever do it again, you just hit me up. We'll do it again. We'll talk about something. So thank you so much for coming on. And everybody listening, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Until next time, thanks for watching.
All right, thanks.
There you go. That was